Guess what I got? Check out that cute little thing hovering behind me. Now that is the Unborn Val'kyr. Okay, and we're gonna have a little talk about the pet today. Got some cool stuff to show you, but first off, I have to say this was what a bitch to farm. It really was. You can't. I shouldn't say farm. I guess camp is the proper word. This is not a guide on how to get it, but I will tell you right now. Go to Wowhead. Actually, I'm put the Wowhead link in my description. All right, so you can check that out there. It has a list of all the spawns, and the only real option is to either fly between each spawn constantly or just sit at one and hopefully it spawns. There is some reference from Blues saying that once one is caught, it affects the catch rate or the spawn rate of the other ones. I don't know anything about that. I don't think they've specified, but as I said, it's not a guide on how to catch it. Just if it was up to the way I did it was I basically sat about 3-4 days. I saw 4 of them before I actually caught one. One of them I got fucking ganked by an ally. Another one there was like a level 5 hunter there. I don't even know what the hell that was about. And then the other one I just missed. But this one, there was nobody there. I was actually doing a full circuit. I was saying, Joey Zero was streaming. I was like, I'm going to make one more fucking pass at this, and then I'm going to bed. And instead of going to bed, I'm making a video right now. So that is that. I would recommend just checking out all the spawns and sitting at one if you don't have a lot of time. Maybe if you're playing League of Legends, Minecraft, something like that. Keep WoW open as small as you can afford it. Don't use up too much resources. But NPC scan will kind of track this thing, but apparently it's a bit bugged. Anyway, I got it, so I want to show you a few things, but I need to confer with the Ace logo first, all right? So me and him are just gonna, just real quick. I mean, yeah. Okay, I'm glad we agree there because that is a strong point the Ace logo just made. First thing I want to do is talk about the abilities a bit. Now, when you look at this pet, unfortunately, since it's so rare, you're not really going to be able to get the quality you want, right? So you're going to have to get an undead battlestone. I was very unlucky. I got a gray version, but I was lucky in the sense that I already had an undead like stone or whatever to bump it right up to blue. So it's not level 20 anymore. But I'll be loving on it shortly. I just want to make this video quick. In terms of abilities, it's got an interesting arsenal. It's got Shadow Slash, 90% hit, 270, so the moderate amount of damage, undead damage, 85% hit one, and then, it's just a bit more damage. So whichever you prefer in slot 1, that's completely up to you. Then the second slot's pretty interesting. It's Siphon Life for me. It's a dot that basically heals you. I kind of like this idea, especially since how we're going to tackle the rest of the abilities, right? So I'm going to go with Siphon Life. But there's also Curse of Doom, which is a 5-round cooldown and deals a ton of damage after 5 rounds. So, you could throw that up. Might be a decent idea. But I like the Siphon Life idea. Either one is pretty cool. It depends on your preference and I guess your approach. Now, the third slot is what's most important. There is the first ability called Haunt. 100% hit chance. User transforms into an unholy spirit and enters the target. This kills the pet. Right, this makes it hard to capture as well. So if you're struggling to capture it, it's probably because of this as well, which kind of sucks. But don't forget Undead's res. Okay, so that you're kind of using that to your advantage. So the way I look at it is, if you're about to die, is the time you want to use these 3 slots. Like if you have died, your pet is dead and it's rezzed, now is the time to use one of these 3 slots. So there's Haunt, or one of the abilities in the 3rd slot. And then Unholy Ascension sacrifices your remaining life to haunt the enemy team, increasing all damage by 25% for 9 rounds. So right off the bat, we see something that is very, very, very useful as like a setup for other pets. Right? If this thing dies, it can go out with a fucking bang. It can basically take another pet with it. I mean, it's not going to do an irrevocable amount of damage off the bat, but these things are massive. These do a lot of damage and are going to make you do more damage, whichever you pick, right? But it's going to really, really, really help you in the future. So right off the bat, I hear people talking, and it completely makes sense, talking about the Beasts of Fable, right? The legendary pets that are around Pandaria. They're not easy to beat. They're not too hard to beat either, but this is the ultimate fucking battle pet for that because it's a pet that it needs 3 pets to take it down, essentially. And this guy can do the trick. He is going to make it fucking happen because when it dies, it's going to only make your next 2 pets do even more. And you can couple that with things that make it take more damage as well. Any type of ability like that. And you're going to kill that fucking pet in 2-3 rounds. After this guy dies, it's only going to get easier. So I like that concept. It's not the best one-on-one pet, like of two equal level pets, but it's a fucking beast. That's for a long, for a pet that you're really trying to take out and do it cautiously. This is the one, and not to mention just having a rare pet like this, you really want to use it. Now, that's going to be it for this commentary, but I want to show you guys a bit of footage I got before I caught this pet. It resurrecting critters. If you didn't know, this pet can fucking resurrect dead critters around you. It's so fucking ridiculous. It's just insane that it does it. But I have some footage, so I'm going to splice that all together and do a little commentary about that. All right, and here we are. This is I did a little intro thing here. I kind of thought this was going to be a standalone video. I had a lot more footage, but I kind of spliced it down now that I actually have the pet. This is an interesting area. On the PTR, when they were talking about the Unborn Val'kyr spawning randomly in Northrend, the first thing that came to mind was this area. This is actually under Utgard Keep, Utgard Pinnacle in Northrend, middle of Howling Fjord. I don't really know what's down here. Apparently there's quests and stuff, so... like I said, there's a bunch of Valkyries flying around, though, so I kind of thought that was going to have something to do with the pet, but it does not, unfortunately. I thought it would be a really, really cool addition if it did, but guess what? It doesn't. So right now I'm going to show you the pet resurrecting the mob, right? And the first thing to realize here is that it's a critter, okay? Basically any dead critter, and by critter I don't mean the specification of the, the thing converted into a battle pet. I mean the traditional colloquial message that a critter was, you know what I mean? The little guys, the level 1 things floating, like just hanging out in the environment. Now, there's a good little close-up of that fucking Valkyr, man. How fucking sexy is that? I'm not usually into pixelated female pets, but that's got me all excited, to be honest. It's really, really good looking, but this pet overall is really, really solid. So very shortly here you will see the pet going to dig down into its spell book and fucking res one of those devouring maggots. And it does just look like a regular res, like if a paladin cast it. There it is right there. Alright, so that's it. Basically just looks like a res, and then the devouring maggot's alive again. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of one of those things that it's more of a surprise the first time you see it happen. Not until you can't really do much with it, but I'll show you it one more time, and then that's going to be it. I really hope you guys enjoy this pet. If you have any questions about the pet, please leave them in the description. Or in the comments, whatever, fuck everything. Fuck this. Go get the pet. It's fucking awesome. It's so cute as well, Jesus.